What's going on, folks? Well, this is my messy leather spot, and it's just not cutting it. There's stuff everywhere, tools everywhere. I got a whole nother table back behind us of tools and patterns and stuff like that. So the plan for today is I'm going to build me a tool caddy that's going to sit roughly right there where that sits, and it'll hold up all my punches and awls and knives and screwdrivers and all my leather tooling stuff. So let's go ahead and get started on this.
I'm a whiskey drinking SOB. If you don't like that, then you won't like me. I'm an outlaw. I said I'm an outlaw.
So the plan is that we're gonna make this tool caddy 2 foot long. So I went and picked me up a piece of white pine, 8-foot white pine at my local hardware store, and we're gonna go ahead and get it all set up ready. We've got our 2 foot mark. We got one here. Which this project's gonna require three two foot pieces. So we got our 2 foot mark here. We got us a 2 foot mark here. We got us a 2 foot mark here, and then we got drop off on the end for extra pieces in case we mess up. So the plan is we're gonna take one solid piece of wood here, and we're going to drill all our holes to hold our tooling and so on and so forth. I'm also going to put a 3.5 inch hole down on the end to hold just various little stuff. Then we're going to have a piece that's going to go underneath it that's not going to have any holes in it, so that way your tools have something to sit on and they don't fall all the way through. And then we're going to have this piece here standing up behind the whole assembly with some more holes in it that'll have dowels in them to hold my thread, and holes to hold some of the more tools that I grab on the tools I use on more occasions. There we go, that's what I was trying to get out there. So let me go ahead and get this cut, and then we'll give you a little mock-up of what we're looking at. Okay, we got everything cut, and that's pretty much what our tool caddy is going to look like. We'll have a 3.5 inch hole right here just for a catch-all. That's going to be the piece that's closest to me. And then we're going to have all our holes, and I'm possibly thinking about putting a piece here that'll bring this up to here roughly to put my light on top of, because at this point I have nothing for my light. And then this guy back here is just stood up on his end, and we're going to have holes through here to put stuff on, as well as some dowels sticking up to be able to set all our thread and string and stuff like that up on there. So that's pretty much the way it looks. You don't have to have a bunch of fancy tools to do this, and the reason I'm doing this is because I looked high and low trying to find me a nice, good, heavy-duty tool caddy and couldn't find anything that I like the looks of. So I just figured, the hell with it, I'll make one of my own. So from here I'm going to go ahead and start getting this top board all laced out, getting it drawn out with where we're going to put what, and so on and so forth. First thing we've done is we decided which board we were going to use for our top board, our board that's going to have our tooling holes in it, and flipped it over, made sure it's the right way. This way we can do all our marking and everything on the back, and then it doesn't show once we get all our holes drilled and everything like that. And we flip it over, everything will be pointing in the right direction, and your flaws in the wood will show, stuff like that. So first things first is we found our center line down the center of the board. Decided to move in. I think this is 1.5 inches. I don't know exactly what it is. It's the width of my yardstick. And then we used a compass to get our 3.5 inch hole pattern here. So that's first. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our yardstick back here again. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to put my yardstick here, move us over, and do our tooling holes. Okay, so that's probably going to be my next step. So the way I've got this marked out is basically I skipped over from my 3.5 inch hole. I skipped over 1.5 inches. I skipped 1.5 inches off the bottom and 1.5 inches off the top, and then laid 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches all the way across. And that gives me to the edge of this pencil, if I did the piece over here for the light to sit on top of, that gives me 30 holes from here to here. I don't really know how I feel about that. I think it would work, but I'm not for sure. As of right now, I got 20 tools that are tooling tools, and then I got some other stuff that I added in there that I could move, because you're also going to have this piece standing up back here with more holes in it. So yeah, I think I'm going to go there with it, do 30 holes, and the rest of it will just be for the light and in the rear piece. Got all my centers punched, just a slight indentation, and then like I said, we got 30 holes from here to here, and then from here over, from here over leaves us 5 inches to be able to put our pedestal for our light on there. So yeah, I think that's all good. From here, what I'm gonna do is I've got everything set up to be able to do this here at the house, with the exception of that 3.5 inch hole. I'd have to do it at the shop with the drill press. So I just went ahead and decided that I'm going to go ahead and do all of these at the shop with the drill press, just to get a nice, good, clean, all the way through hole. You know, something that doesn't angle or anything like that, because all I've got to do with here is a hand drill. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and set up now for doing the rear piece. That way we can get it drilled at the same time as we get this drilled at the shop. Okay, and then we got all of this set up. Same thing, just 1.5 inches on center, with the exception of here. We came up weird on our 1.5 inches, so I figured since this is where I'm going to put my 2 spools of threads, my bigger 2 spools of threads that I use all the time, I'll give myself a little bit more room. So again, we got 15 holes across the top. These are going to be 1/2 inch holes, just to be able to accommodate bigger stuff like flathead screwdriver, swivel knife, stuff like that. So let me get it all mocked up and we'll show you what we're going for. So that's basically what we're going to have for our tool caddy. Again, I'm still undecisive whether I'm going to put the other a riser right here, so that way I can put my light up on top of it. I might just leave it alone and put my light up there. That way I can always go back in and drill these holes later if need be, and add more tooling. That's probably what I'll go ahead and do. And then of course, like we said, we're going to have the 3.5 inch hole over there as a catch-all, and that's pretty much it. This board will actually be flipped 180 degrees, which will get rid of this ugly knot on this side and get rid of all this ugly stuff and give us nice, pretty clean boards all the way around, with the exception of that right there, but that's going to add character. And I'm indecisive if this guy's going to be raw or if I'm going to go ahead and stain it. I had even thought about doing some burning on it and sanding it back out. Regardless, it'll get a little bit of sander work done to it, to like on this top piece here, to get rid of my my marks. And I don't know, that's just pretty much where we're going right there. So that's our tool caddy. I'm not going to wrap the video just yet. This is going to be 1/2 inch holes. This is going to be 7/16 holes with a 3.5 inch hole here. Like I said, I'm not going to wrap the video just yet, because I do want to go ahead and drill all these holes out and let y'all see the finished piece. But for today, I'm done. Tomorrow I'm going to drill all this stuff out at the shop and hopefully come home and assemble it, or decide what I'm going to do and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be the rest of this video. Well, here we go. We're on day 2. We made it back from the shop. All our holes are drilled. I changed the game plan up a little bit. As you can see right there, I got 3 small holes and 3 small holes. I kind of figured that would be needed for needles and scratch all, you know, stuff like that. Some of your smaller tools. That way they don't get lost in there and it doesn't end up in the catch-all hole. So my next process, I guess, is going to be to get all this stuff burned and then sanded and ready to go back together. So all right, well, we've been sitting here burning for a little while. It took me a tiny bit to get down to what I was doing and get used to it, but there it is. Next up is I'm just going to give it a light sand on. I'm going to screw it all together and then give it a light sand on the pieces that are showing, and from there we'll assemble it and get it all nice and cleaned up and show it up in the all we're using here is just a little propane torch, you know, nothing special, slow but nothing special. So I'm gonna get back at it. All right, and there it is, all done. Everything's all screwed, put together. It's all one solid piece, and thus far I'm pretty happy with it. After I got it all sanded and all that kind of stuff, I went ahead and put some some oil on it just to make it look nice and clean and to get some of the dust and dirt from the sanding off of it. Believe it or not, I couldn't decide what I wanted to put on it. You know, being a car guy, being a leather guy, and being a gun guy, couldn't decide what kind of oil to put on it. Didn't want to have to go out and buy anything, so just fucking popped open, excuse my language, I just popped open the bottle of neat's foot, wet a paper towel, and wiped it down, and pretty happy with the results. Let me get this thing in the house and get it all set up, and I'll give y'all a look. All right, so we got it inside and we got it all set up, and as you can see, everything looks good. The only thing that I haven't done that the plan called for was these last two holes over here. We're gonna get wooden dowels in them, so that way I could take and set my rolls of twine up there like that. Still gotta go, excuse me, I was scratching my arm. Still gotta go to Walmart or a craft store or even one of the home stores and pick me up some wooden dowels so I can cut them off and get them put in there. But that's pretty much the extent of it, folks. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully some of you leatherworking guys in my leatherworking groups, this will help y'all out with making yourself your own custom tool caddy that, you know, isn't one of these $10 or $99 or something like that junk compressed particle wood things. It also gives it a nice old school feel, you know, to go along with our leather trade. All in all, in this whole project, I maybe have $10, maybe $15 at the most. And that's, you know, I had all the tooling on hand. I had a 3.5-inch hole saw to cut the hole. The holes on the lower section are 7/16, so that way you could fit, you know, bigger tools, smaller tools, and you could put them pretty much wherever you wanted them. And the holes across the top are 1/2 inch. These little holes that I used for my scratch awl, my stylus, and then 3 holes right there for needles. I have no idea what size they were. I just grabbed a drill bit and ran. But you know, like I said, I got like maybe $15 in this guy, if that. Started off life as a 8-foot 2x6 white pine, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that, but anyways, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Like the video, comment on the video, let me know what you think, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We'll have some fishing stuff, some hunting stuff, some guns, leatherworking, all kinds of stuff coming up in the near future. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.